Good evening, everyone. This is Jenny on Stage Music Live. Tonight is a very special night because firstly we'll do the interview in English. And we welcome Don Mescall, internationally well-known writer, songwriter. So hi Don.
Thank you so much. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Thanks
it's great
to
be in Geneva again. Yeah.
So you arrived yesterday? You had a good trip?
Yeah, it was a great trip. Yeah,
That's fantastic.
yeah, I like to come here. It's a favourite place of mine.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not your first time?
No, it's not my first time.
Okay.
No, I've swum in your lake
Oh, many times.
a couple of times.
With the fish.
The fish.
That's fantastic. Don, we're going to talk about especially your latest release, which
Okay.
was which came out last year in 2018. But we were talking. We'll talk about Natalie a bit later on. But you have so much. You wrote about over 500 songs. You have 100,000 followers.
I'm useless at everything else.
Yeah, everything you
everything
touch
else.
turn to go.
No, I'm not good at anything else in my life. So.
Really? So we'll talk about that later too. Okay. So let's talk about the release of your album. I know that you haven't actually had your own album for 12 years.
Yeah, it took me a while, you know, because I made a record in 2006 with Corb, an American label, but I didn't really enjoy the process, you know, I didn't really enjoy being the artist. I don't know why that was, I just wasn't ready for it, I don't think, personally. So I decided to just step back in the background and write the songs, because you can be involved. My most interesting part of the music for me is the writing. So, but then, you know, after about 10 years, I started missing the performance. Because as a songwriter, you know, you can write the songs in the studio or wherever, but then you miss to get to go out and perform them in front of people, you know, who haven't heard them before. It's like full circle as a songwriter. Yeah. So I missed that a bit, and you know, I was writing a lot of songs for a lot of different artists, and sometimes those artists would invite me to go on stage with them, and I thought, I kind of like this again now. So I decided to make a record.
So 12 years later?
Yeah, I did it quickly, 12 years.
12 years, that's good. And it's called, we're going to say, The Lighthouse Keeper. So what about the name? Is there a story behind that?
Well, there is, because my daughter Eve, when Eve was about 6 or 7, I took her, we went on a road trip back to Ireland, just Eve and myself, and I got the opportunity of visiting a lighthouse in County Cork, which is kind of southern Ireland. And later on that year I was in New York and I was working, you know, songwriting and all of that, and I was looking at all these photos that I took of my daughter at the lighthouse, and I realized, probably for the first time, that I was approximately around that age when my father died, that my daughter was, and I was with my father when he died, and it all kind of came back to me, and I thought, wow, I don't want her to ever feel like I felt, because I think when you lose a father as a son, you have a very, you know, you lose someone you love, but you lose direction in your life. So the lighthouse would have been the direction, and I felt I lost that, you know. So I looked at these photos, and she inspired me to write that song, because I thought, you know, I want to be there for my daughter in her life, no matter what happens, you know. And it was just an interesting day. At the end of the day, the lighthouse keeper, the person, you know, he gave us a spare bulb from the lighthouse, you know. Yeah. It was a big bulb. And I remember driving back to Ireland, and my daughter was on the back seat on this side, and the bulb was on the other seat with a seatbelt around it, and I'm the keeper of the bulb now. So I thought, you know, that started the album. I thought I'll write songs like this, and so that's where the title came from.
That's beautiful. Is it the difference between you writing for yourself and writing for other people?
No, not really. I don't ever restrict it like that. I mean, everything for me is just based on the song. I have no idea what journey the song is going to go on after I write it or co-write it. So I try to just stay in the moment of. In fact, it's my favorite part of the whole thing, is just the writing, and I try to stay in that moment. And in that moment, you can kind of block out the world and the stuff that's happening, because life happens so quickly now, doesn't it? You know. Yeah. So when you're creating, as you may know, it's like you're not thinking about anything else. All you're thinking about is that little song and trying to get it right, you know. So that's what I love.
Do you remember the first time you wrote your first song?
Well, it's a funny story about that. I remember my first song, and it's the worst song. It's like so embarrassing. But I remember when, you know, when I guess the first success started happening, and my younger sister and I are very close. There's 11 children in my family. Oof. It's just a small family, but I'm the second youngest, so it's myself and my younger sister are the youngest. And and she came to one of my concerts. It was quite a big concert, you know, and I was like, you know, I'd been asked an encore, you know, you get an encore, I sing, and she came up to the stage, and she called out the worst song that I'd ever written. To remind me, I think just to bring me down a level, you know.
Yeah.
The song was called She's a Nurse, and it's so embarrassing.
Whoa, okay.
But it's a terrible
And
song.
you still remember this, which is
I remember it with dread, you know, and I hope and pray that nobody out there has ever heard it, you know. I mean, it's just myself and my sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
And us now. We all know about it.
Yeah,
Don't
well,
try to
there you
that.
go.
There you go.
There you go.
Don, we'd love to hear one of your songs.
You would?
I would love to.
Okay.
Are you guys ready? Can we do one?
Okay, this is Olivia and James who
Thank
play
you.
with me on the road. Wonderful people.
Yeah, it will arrive, I think you arrived yesterday.
Today,
you arrived
this
today.
morning,
So you're feeling okay?
yeah, a little bit tired.
Same weather? And this is no jet lag, same weather. Fantastic, so let's play that song. What are you going to play?
Well, I was thinking of maybe starting with a song called Sunday Drive because I don't know if it's something that the French do or the Swiss do, but when I was younger, the week, you know, from Monday to Friday was, you know, you go to school and you do all those things, but at the weekend on a Sunday, it was different. You know, we went to Mass, we went to church, but every Sunday we all got into my father's car and we went for a drive, you know, maybe to the lake or to whatever, you know, and that was 11 of us. And it was only a very petite voiture, you know, so it was
That's a lot.
yeah, so, but as I got older, I realized that those moments were magical moments, you know, because you learn so much about life, you know,
Yeah.
you're with all your siblings and all that. So I wanted to make sure that I remembered it, so I have a little song called Sunday Drive.
Fantastic. Let's
Okay.
go then.
Okay, I'll just put this down, yeah. Thank you so much. Cheers. What do you cook with this?
Didn't say where we were going, we just climbed into the backseat. Our eyes wide open to the picture show outside. I guess we really didn't understand at all. Remember looking up at them from the road, hands touched together almost outside. It's been a long, hard week, but now this slow release of a Sunday afternoon. We were only young and they were trying hard to reach you. And how was I to know back then this was something so worth keeping? Watching the world through an open window, trees lined up like dominoes. It's so calm we find our own way home. It's the ordinary thing that means so much. That's when I need all from them to fight, to love, to laugh again. And man, I thought that we were only wasting time. We were out on a Sunday drive. sun warms your soul like an old friend singing songs along with another road. Everyone you've ever loved sitting there so close, never thinking that we'd ever get old. How could we ever get old while we were watching the world through an open window, tree lined up like dominoes? This old car will find our own way home. It's the ordinary things that mean so much. That's when I learned it all from them, to fight, to love, to laugh again. Man, I thought that we were only wasting time. We were out on a Sunday drive. I didn't say where we were going, son. I just helped them to the backseat. And my dad just smiled and said, son, don't drive too far. Mama gets pretty tired these days. After a few miles, I guess they'll recognize some places, and I listen as they reminisce about this world that they had always known how to change. It'd probably never be the same again. Caught them in the mirror, they were holding hands and smiling, looking younger than they'd been here. Through all those years spent watching the world through an open window, trees lined up like dominoes. This old car will find her own way home. It's the ordinary things that mean so much. That's when I learned it all from them, to fight, to love, to laugh again. Man, I thought that we were only wasting time. We were out on a Sunday drive. Out on a Sunday drive. We were out on a Sunday drive.
Out on a Sunday drive.
On that Sunday drive. We were out on a Sunday drive. Let's see.
Yeah. Then that was great.
Thank you so much.
That was great. I'm sure everyone liked that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to ask a friend of mine. I have to say hello because she's going to hate that. Aquarella, which she's from Quebec.
Oh, Quebec. Oh, wow.
Montreal. So thanks for coming. She's here for 1 week.
Oh, fantastic.
She's sick because it's a shitty weather.
Oh,
you know.
okay.
So sorry about that. We'll catch up next time. She's over there. It's so much to talk about you, but before we start with some personal question, funny question, I just would like to talk about this song that you wrote for Henry Mescall. I know that Paul McCartney was involved, but many more very well-known artists. So can you tell us a little bit about?
Yeah, I mean, Henry McCulloch, I guess, would be a lot of people's guitar hero. You know, he, how would I start about him? You know, he played Woodstock with Joe Cocker and the Grease band. He was in Wings with Paul McCartney and various other people. So about maybe 18 years ago, I was introduced to Henry, and we just became friends. You know, I think it was just around the time that Richie Havens, who also played Woodstock, cut one of my songs. That was my first big cut, you know, as a songwriter. So we had something in common, you know, and we just became friends. And over the years, he sometimes he'd tour with me because he liked my songs. That's basically what it was. And if I was in the north of Ireland, I would stay with him and his wife in their house, you know, and probably just have a chill out time, you know. And eventually, I suppose it led to us writing and collaborating on things. And he was a guy that was always on the end of the phone for me. And my career then as a songwriter kind of took off, but we stayed friends, you know. He's a very grounded guy, you know. And then, you know, some time ago he passed away. And I just, you know, as sometimes happens in rock and roll or in the music industry, some of these people they played such a big part of somebody else's success, but normally, a lot of the times, they don't reap the benefits financially. You know, they're just like a little bit disorganized, and they haven't got pensions, and you know, they're just living in the rock and roll days, you know. So I wanted to try and help, because he was very ill before he died, and he needed 24/7 care, you know, and I wanted to try to help. So I went back through songs that we had written, and you know, some of them they were okay, you know, some of them were maybe a little bit too high when we wrote them and stuff like that. And then I found one that was a pretty cool song, and I thought, how can I help? So I thought, maybe I can get people that loved him as much as I did. He was a great guy, to play on this song, and then we can release the song, and I gave my half of the song to his wife for you know, the publishing and all that, for the income. So you know, it was an amazing, just an amazing thing, because I met people that really loved him. Yeah. The first person was Nick Mason from Pink Floyd. So I was producing a record at the time in Britannia Row in Britannia Row Studios, and Nick was playing drums on it. So I mentioned to him at lunch, you know, we're having a bit of lunch, and I mentioned what I was doing, and he said, well, I'll come in and give you a day, you know. So I played him the song, and he loved it. So he came in, and that started the ball rolling. And Albert, the great Albert Lee, guitar player, and I knew Albert from Nashville, where he was playing with Emmylou Harris, and you know, he played with everybody, George Harrison and stuff like that, and before George died. But you know, Albert was on tour, and he came in and he played guitar on it. And what I loved about that was he played guitar very much like Henry would have played. And then we got in the amazing Gary Brooker from Procol Harum, you know. I mean, I hadn't met Gary before, but you know, Whiter Shade of Pale is one of my favourite songs, you know. Yeah. And he came in, and he was great fun, and he loved the song, he sang it, and Paul McCartney played bass on it, and who else? We got the London Gospel Community Choir, 14 of them. I brought them into my studio, and they sang on it, and Chris Stanton from Eric Clapton's band played Hammond on it, and yeah, it was just it's just been a wonderful thing. But you know, it's all in real for me. I wrote the song and I produced the song, but I wrote the song with Henry, and it's like it's a song for a friend, you know. And hopefully, who knows, you know, I don't know, but hopefully it'll make some money for his wife, because she's a great lady, you know. And he's not here, but he's in that great rock and roll band.
Over there.
Over there.
Over there, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
A couple of little personal question. We're going to get out of the music environment here, okay? Right. So we're going to start with...
This will be good.
Yeah,
sure.
that's the funny part. Be ready. Then I have a surprise for you. If you're good at it, I'll have a surprise for you. Okay.
All right, okay.
So do you have another passion, Don?
Passion? I do motorcycles. I love motorcycles. You know, I've always loved motorcycles. My brothers and my father was a mechanic.
Okay.
And my two brothers are fanatics, and they have you know, motorcycle shops. So I just grew up with motorcycles, and I just can't get it out of my blood. I just love them. You know.
That's good.
Yeah. I like the motorcycles here in Geneva. There's a lot of nice bikes.
Big bike.
Big bikes.
Big
yeah.
bike. What is the most rebellious things you have done as a teenager?
I couldn't tell you that.
Yes, you can. Come on. You don't have to tell the
No,
truth.
because it probably wasn't unlawful. So, very much unlawful.
Really?
You know what? The easy way to ask that question is I've done pretty much everything.
Okay, that's good to know. Well,
There
at least
aren't,
everyone knows.
honestly, hand on my heart, there aren't a lot of things that I haven't done.
Fantastic.
So I'm a little bit like that in life where I like to try things and
Yeah.
make my own decision. So
That's good.
yeah, there's maybe one or two things that I haven't tried. Just like to point that out. But everything else I've probably tried it once. You know, yeah, or twice even.
And when we were young, what was your celebrity crush? Did you have a celebrity crush?
It sounds weird, but probably motorcycles.
Okay. Well, she's cute.
Yeah,
Nice,
motorcycles.
yeah,
In fact,
okay.
you know, I kind of I was a bit obsessed by. I love engines.
Okay.
I love cars as well, and trucks.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Lots of nice. Is it something that you
Boring.
love that everyone doesn't?
Is there something that I love
That you
everyone-
love that you know that?
Well, my ex-wife would, if she was here, she'd answer that question, and she would say probably obsession with music, because
Okay.
I find that I'm not one of these people that can. It's very hard for me to sit down. I don't even have a TV. I can't watch the TV.
Okay.
Now I can watch something on Netflix, but I have to be doing something. I have to be either playing the guitar or playing the piano really badly, or playing the mandolin, or doing something. You know, I play lots of things badly, but I like to create things. So I'm very interested at the moment in making lamps, but I make lamps. I kind of upcycle things,
Okay.
change the usage of things. I like everything that's old. I don't like anything new.
That's good. Yeah.
You know, you won't find anything new in my house.
Okay.
It's all old furniture, old books.
Yeah, you do read, I think.
Yeah, I learned to read. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
learned
you
to
do read. I
yeah.
heard that you like
Yeah.
reading.
I love reading. Yeah,
Okay.
I have a passion for reading. Actually, I love it. Yeah, and I think that's where I get a lot of my ideas for songs from books. I try to liken it to, like, I think a good song is like a small book,
Yeah.
3.5 minutes long.
So what are you reading at the moment?
I am reading Irish authors at the moment. I don't know how I got into that, but there's a couple of great Irish authors. I can't remember any of their names now. Joseph O'Connor.
Okay.
And I'm reading pretty much everything that he's written. But I like all different types of things. You know, I like American authors as well. I loved, but I had to stop. I got really sort of locked into Maya Angelou, that American Black
Yeah.
African American writer. I think she's, when you read her books, it's like every page has a song in it. And then I got to meet her, and I got to watch her perform. This is quite a few years ago, but she's just an amazing writer. So I like that. I kind of beat generation American author type
That's good.
writing. Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. If you had one word to describe yourself, what would it be?
Jesus, I don't know. Unusual.
And you like it, it's fair enough.
Unusual. Positive and negative. I don't know.
Okay. God created a woman. What would you have created?
If God created a woman,
No,
for
God
me,
created a woman.
Oh.
I think that's what I heard anyway. No, you know, whatever. But for my story, then what would you have created?
if I was creating
Yeah,
a
if you
woman,
would God.
or if I was God, if I was God, what a great song title! If I was God, I don't. I mean, I don't. Like, do you want the like
Go for it. Whatever.
physical details? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm interested in people's minds, so it would have to be somebody who,
My reader.
well, not a mind reader, but at least had some knowledge.
Does it help, actually? Yeah.
Something going on upstairs would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice,
You know, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I like that too. Someone asked me that question one day, and I said, you know, I don't know how we say it in English, but you know, you can just go from one place to the other without having to get a car or a bus, you know? So you can
Commute.
That's it, exactly.
You like to commute
you know, you go from one place to the
Oh.
other, you know? You know what I mean?
in a relationship
No,
kind of way.
no. In go in a meeting or, you know, work meeting, you can go from one place, one
Oh.
country to the other.
Oh, okay.
How do we say in English? Aquarella. You know,
What
when
does
you
that
go
mean? You
from
want to
one
have
place to the
many?
other.
You want to have many relationships?
No, it's not about relationship.
Oh.
Going from one place to the other.
Or you can't settle down?
No. We'll talk about later. Whatever. No, that's not what I meant. But
Okay.
we'll get into that later.
Okay.
Is it something you hate in life? Can be a food.
You know what? The first thing that I don't like is I really don't like that word, and I try not to use it
Fantastic.
because I think that word carries such weight. It's like, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
You know,
Sadly.
it's a heavy word. No, there's lots of things I dislike or I would like to be different. But no, there's nothing that for the H word.
That's good.
No, not really. You know.
I'd like to, before we go on and finish this interview, I'd like to thanks Nathalie Rendu, because
Amazing
you're
lady.
here because of her tonight, and
100%.
I know, and she's a great person, so thank you, Nathalie.
Yeah, give her a round of applause there.
Yeah, fantastic. Champmesle, of course, everyone,
Fantastic.
Giorgio, everyone that's here tonight. Eve, yeah. On stage music, I'd like to inform you that tonight, and we worked very hard on it, but tonight we actually have 7,000 followers on stage,
Oh,
Music
God.
Live, so we're very proud
Oh,
of
this
it.
is live.
Yes, it's live. But we can.
I would have. Yeah.
It is live. Nathalie.
Fantastic.
Come on, now, I'm kidding. Okay, so thank you for that. Thanks for everyone who came tonight. On behalf of On Stage, because you did answer very well the question.
Oh.
And I know you're a big fan of chocolate.
Oh, I love
I know
chocolate.
everything.
You do?
So I thought I can't do an advertisement for a shop in Geneva. So I'm going to hide the
Oh
paper
my
behind.
God! Look
So
at
here we
that.
go. You can
Oh,
have that for your
wow.
stay because I know you're here for a couple of days.
Oh my God! Well, I know there's somebody else in my band that really loves chocolate as well.
No.
So, wow, that's so sweet of you. Thank you so much.
No, it's a pleasure.
3.
Geneva, it's great. Yeah, that's right, it's great.
Thank you so much. Well, that's very, very kind of you.
For those who are here, you guys going to have one more song with us to end this interview. Then you'll have 3 more songs. I'm just going to tell the people about where you're playing for the next few days. So tomorrow you're in Monte. You'll be
Yes.
playing at a tattoo bar. That's good.
Fantastic. Do we get a tattoo while we're there?
You
don't
look
know.
with them, I don't
Okay,
know.
okay.
You look with Nathalie. Saturday night, please, everyone, do come around at the Moulin Rouge at 9:30.
Oh yeah, I'm
We'll be
really
playing.
looking forward to
That is
that. Yeah.
going to be a big night, so please don't hesitate to be there.
Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge. And then you'll be au Citron Masqué à Yverdon.
Yes.
I'm right, Nathalie?
Right on.
Yes, she's
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
good.
Amazing.
So please don't hesitate to follow you. So you have all your pages, Facebook page, Instagram. You maybe tell us where we can find you.
All of those places. All of those
So
places. All of that
Facebook,
social media
Instagram,
stuff.
social
Yeah,
media.
yeah.
Donna, thank you very much for
Thank
being
you
here
so much.
tonight. I really like your work.
You do?
I'm a fan of A Bit of a Country, all those people. We won't talk about that.
Okay.
I have one more question for you. Is there any question you would have liked me to ask you and I didn't tonight?
No.
No, perfect. So it was a great night.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
So far,
that's
fantastic.
Okay, excellent. So
Okay.
thank you again. Thank you
Thank
everyone.
you so
Thank you
much.
for both of you to be here tonight. I'll let you know we're going to end with which song.
Maybe Lighthouse Keeper because you mentioned it. Lighthouse
Exactly.
Keeper.
Yeah, that'd be
Would
great.
you like that?
Yeah, so I'll let you
Okay.
play that and thank
Okay.
you again.
Thank you. Big stages, huh? Isn't it?
Fine line between what's real and what's make believe in your beautiful hair. And all the king's horses and all the king's men, they can't even get you to bed. But outside the real world is raging, and thieves wanna steal you away. One day they will, I promise until the last star is falling, your days will be golden. 'Cause I will oceans break, paper boats and pirates sail away under the cruise. Oh, a little angel sleeper, let me be your lighthouse keeper. Lighthouse keeper. Now there come a time you see the world for what it is. You won't look away. Don't let go of your dreams, it's not all that it seems. Don't you surrender, always remember that where the oceans break, paper boats and pirates sail away under the cruise. Oh, a little angel sleeper, let me be your lighthouse keeper. Your lighthouse keeper. And when the darkness falls, look for the light to guide you home under the cruise. Lord, stay safe, my angel sleeper. I'll always be your lighthouse keeper. Be safe, my angel sleeper. Let me be your lighthouse keeper. I'm your lighthouse keeper.